Irish radio. Make it your Irish radio. You did. You're here. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming in. Like, subscribe, do all those internet things in all the internet places. It's really helpful. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And you can listen live 24/7, myirishradio.com. And disruption meets tradition. It's kind of a theme lately on the last couple of the interviews we've done. And today's guest is no different. The pipes are calling. And they called to our guest today. And that call and some free time during COVID led to millions and millions of views, listens, follows, millions, literally millions. She's going to be touring this spring and summer, headlining the Motor City Irish Fest. She's entertaining to watch online. I'm really looking forward to seeing her perform live this summer at the Motor City Irish Fest. And Allie the Piper. Piper. Welcome to My Irish Radio.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So, yeah, it's just gets things started. Tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Oh, my God. Oh, wasn't ready. So my favorite thing to tell people, which I cannot confirm nor deny because I was not conscious, but my mother tells people that before I started talking, I was humming and singing melodies, and she played music for me the entire time that she was pregnant. She sang the whole time I was a baby. And so she always, considers music to be my first language. And I mean, it kind of makes sense with how obsessed I got with it as a child. I could not get my hands off of musical instruments. I loved learning new things. And I started my first actual lessons when I was 6 years old. And my first instrument was piano. And I was singing the entire time as well. I loved to sing. It was a very loud household. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for everybody else in the household, but I had fun. So I started learning piano and I just fell in love with it. And then I started learning other instruments through the school system. So clarinet was my first school instrument, but I wanted to play jazz when I got to middle school. So I took lessons over the summer. So I learned saxophone so I could play in jazz. And then I started learning other instruments in school as well, like bass clarinet, baritone saxophone, which was bigger than I was, just for the record. And then flute, oboe. I tried trumpet, really bad at trumpet. Woodwinds are my comfort zone. I also tried string instruments, didn't go well. Woodwinds, like I said, are my comfort zone. And so my childhood was just full of learning instruments, learning music. I was also very involved in sports as a child, which surprises a lot of people because I am not athletic by any means, but I have a connective tissue disorder that I got diagnosed with in my 20s called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And I did not know at this time. And so I was considered the clumsy kid. And so I loved competition. I loved the drive of sports. I loved being a part of a team and everything like that. But I always ended up breaking some kind of bone.
Oh.
And so it came to the crux of things when I was around 12 years old, and it was a conversation. I was at a basketball game. I had just come off because I'd broken a finger, and I had a concert that night for school, for my school band. And my mom said, listen, I'm never going to make you choose. I'm never going to push you in one direction or the other, but you have to think about this. You have to think about whether or not you can do both of these things because they're impacting each other. And so I chose music, and that was kind of the first fork in the road that kind of led me to where I am now.
Yeah. And then your stepdad and your grandmother really fostered the passion for the Celtic culture. And then them pipes just won you over, right?
Yeah. So also at 12 years old, this was a very, very big time for me. My stepdad adopted me legally, and that's where I got my second last name, Duncan. And I wanted to learn a lot more about the Duncan family name. And my grandma taught me a bunch. She had this chest in their house full of garments and the family tartan, the crest, but names dating back hundreds and hundreds of years. And I thought it was just amazing seeing heritage be celebrated and loved and preserved that way. It was the first time I'd had a firsthand experience with it. So I took it upon myself to go to YouTube and learn more about Scotland's history. And bagpipes were the soundscape for every single video on the topic. And I just fell in love with the sound. I thought they were such a commanding looking instrument. And I couldn't really figure out how they worked just by looking at the YouTube videos I was seeing because they were just kind of in passing. And let's just say as soon as I found out that bagpipes were also a woodwind, I was sold. Done deal. And so I begged my mom for lessons, and she was like, oh, okay.
Oh, bagpipes. Okay, great. Pad the garage.
So she found, very fortunately, she found a competitive youth program about 15 minutes from where we lived in upstate New York. And this is one of the best programs for kids in the world, especially in America. And they were willing to take me on. So I was 14 when I started lessons, and this really it really quenched my thirst for music and also everything that I mentioned before, the competitive side, the team side, the almost sports aspect of it without the danger of the sports for me. So I got to get the best of both worlds, and that really, really, really pulled me deep into that part of the bagpiping community.
How did that play out for a 14, 15-year-old girl? Because I teach high school, and those kids are mean. How'd that play out as a 15-year-old bagpiper?
Yeah, so I was very healthily in the social sphere in the bagpiping community. So in one respect, I had a very healthy social life every single week. Like I was friends with everybody in the band. We worked together. We played tunes together. We helped each other. So snare drummers, if people aren't familiar, snare drummers and drummers in general can't compete on their own in solo competition. They need a bagpiper to accompany them. So I was the piper for a ton of the drummers in my band, and we had so much fun. We went away to like bagpipe summer camps and stuff like that. Those were always super fun. And so I had that side, and then I had high school, which was in every single way the polar opposite. I wasn't bullied to my face about bagpipes or anything like that, but I think people just didn't know what to do with me. I wasn't really pulled into the music part of what my high school had to offer because I was a little bit different and because my focuses were different. I was heavily involved. I was in 6 music programs at once in high school. So any band I could be in, any choral program I could be in, full orchestra. I was studying music theory. I was really, really invested and really involved. And I had my own rock band in high school too. So there was a lot going on. And then on the side, I was also, not on the side, but pretty heavily, I was also doing solo competition, band competition. I was doing gigs. So I was just really busy. But
Yeah.
to paint this picture, in high school, I played a lot for different events. So a lot of the time I would have to go to school fully dressed in my uniform, like head to toe kilted, because by 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. I'd be picked up to leave to go play a gig and then come back to school. And that was something that people didn't really get or understand, and nobody asked, so I never explained it. It just kind of happened. And then I also played bagpipes for I don't know how widespread the D.A.R.E program is, but we had that in New York. And it's an educational program where typically a volunteer police officer will go into schools, middle schools or elementary schools, and teach about the dangers of drugs and substances. And we had the D.A.R.E program. And when I was in high school, I played bagpipes for the graduations of D.A.R.E programs in the other schools. And so in the middle of the day, this fully kilted 16-year-old girl would leave the building and get into a police car and not return. That happened a lot. So I was just kind of this weird enigma when I was in high school.
I love that.
The music kids definitely didn't know what to do with it. There was a tweet back when Twitter was Twitter that went around by one of like the popular music kids saying that bagpipes are the worst instrument on the planet, like terrible to listen to. And like, of course, all of my people who I thought were kind of friends are liking and retweeting and stuff like that. So that was a big dramatic thing in high school. But at the same time that all of this was happening and people making fun of the bagpipes, in my other life, in the outside of school life, I had just won the World Pipe Band Championships with my youth band. We had been the first American band to win in our division over in Glasgow. And so I had like, it was crazy. It was such a weird shatter in the brain to have all of these things happening at once. And so it was really great in a way because I got to not let any of those things affect me in a way they would have otherwise. Like all of these high school kids being like, oh, that instrument's dumb. And then everybody in the community, like when we would walk into other bagpipe competitions, they would celebrate us, because we had just done this huge thing and put our area and our region on the map in the competitive world. And that was really amazing. And so it didn't affect me, but then I also just did not feel accepted by my peers in that way. So it was a weird thing to go back and forth to.
Yeah, I would love to have you as a student at my school. Just I do the journalism, and I'd be like, oh my God, you have to write about her. It's like so they won a national thing, and we had some girls who did like some synchronized ice skating, and they went to Russia for that. I'm like, you got to write about. Nobody knows about that, and they don't understand it, and they figure it out. They probably know now, and they're like, oh. Wow, that was actually very, very cool. I love that you're wearing the kilt in school. That's fabulous.
I felt weird doing it. I didn't like doing that. I love the kilt. I love the uniform. Felt weird to do it in school.
Yeah.
But I was very popular amongst the administrators and the teachers in the school, of course. This weird, unique thing. So often the principal would have me, play bagpipes at morning announcements or, if we had a let out of school early day for some reason, I'd like play through the halls. And I always felt really, really vulnerable doing that because I could hear those students in my head.
So getting past that, and then as a young person getting out of high school, so COVID comes along and you're kind of trapped at home and you start making videos and it just goes nuts for you. I'm so glad it did because you're such a dynamic person. So, but the trick is, because I teach journalism and I do the video journalism, people will forgive bad video, but they won't forgive bad audio. So, and the bagpipes are loud. And so how was it hard fine tuning that to be able to have it sound good for your videos?
Well, it took a lot of practice in general, just kind of playing on camera, being on video, trying to record audio and things of that nature. And I started everything, and my earliest viral videos actually were recorded just on my iPhone. No microphones, no anything at all. You can see it if you go way back, but some of my earliest, like my true first viral video is me, and I have a pair of Apple headphones with the cable still. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was recording into the tiny little microphone of that thing. So the cool thing about bagpipes is that the sound is so simple. It's just a sine wave. Like, it's not a huge frequency range. There's not like a ton of bass or a ton of treble that you have to cut out or anything like that. And because it's loud, it's clear. And so I was lucky that I was able to record some of the early things on low quality audio software and have it still come through okay. But as soon as I was able to, I learned as much as I could about video and audio editing, because they're both super important. And I had never learned anything about using these kinds of programs before. So it took a really long time to kind of get the hang of it. And then also find the balance between over processing things and under processing things. And I found that it's better to under process them for the sake of social media. So you still get a product that feels raw and like it's like authentically just recorded in the room, which it is. But if there's too much happening, like too many effects, people kind of lose touch with like the reality of it and they no longer feel like it's real. So all I do at this point is I have a good setup. I know where to record in my room to get a nice clean sound out of my microphone. And then the only thing I really do is put some reverb on it so that it's not a flat, dry tone. That's different from what I do with my recorded, like released music, but that's all I do for my social videos.
Well, and that's because I got a couple friends that are just like crazy huge, the reptile guy, and his life is social media, and he makes more. He had a reptile. He was like the third largest reptile breeder in the United States, and then they started doing the social media, and he ended up making more money off of social media than he was on his reptile business, but he had to keep the reptile business going because that was the content for his social media. It's he ended up on the Animal Planet in Australia and stuff.
Good for him.
But it's crazy stuff. How many hours a week are you making content? Because it's like it's all the time. How much time do you invest into that?
So content creation is definitely second or third in line right now in terms of what my focuses are. My primary focus is live performance. And then secondary to that is writing and recording. I'm writing an album right now. And then third to that is content creation. So at this point, currently, I'm probably putting in like maybe 10 or so hours a week to content creation. So not too much. But in the crux of it, when I was in the building stage, I was at 80 to 90 hours a week of content creation. And that is before I had anything else to shift over to. So at that point, I didn't have the finances or facilities to be able to record albums. And I definitely didn't have the manpower or the funds to fund a tour. But now that I have those things, my focus is on those two first, and then content creation. I'm kind of using primarily right now just to promote my product, which is my tours and my shows.
So, I mean, you got to figure though, doing that 5, 6 years ago, and now the 10 hours that you invest now, it's probably like what would it cost you 20, 40 hours of work. You probably got it down to I know what to do, how to do it, how to get it out.
Absolutely. I'm a lot more efficient than I used to be, especially with learning solos, with learning and transcribing and arranging things. I just recorded my full process of learning. I just posted it on social media. It's the guitar solo from Living on a Prayer. And I recorded my full process, like start to finish, of learning the solo so I can post it to my Patreon, so for my like subscribers. And the whole process from start to finish took 11 minutes. And something like that used to take me at least 40 minutes to transcribe it, learn it on bagpipes, practice it until it was at a performable level. And it was kind of nice to sit back and watch that, because Freebird, for example, took me 2 days.
Okay.
And so it was really cool this is a little bit shorter than Freebird, but still, and it was really fun because I was like, oh, I get to actually watch progress. This is like literally the fruits of my labor from practicing this skill and really working on this skill for years. And so it was cool to do that. I've never really front to back recorded the whole process before because it's a chaotic process to watch. It's not, there's nothing glamorous about it. I take the audio, isolate the section that I want to learn, and I transcribe the whole thing on piano first so that I can see the range, and then I figure out what key I can play it in because I have 4 channers of options of different keys. I'm like, which one can play the majority of these notes? And then after that, I have to arrange it so that it fits into a bagpiping scale. And after that, you play it and learn it. So I'm really like proud that I was able to get that down to the time that I had done it in. But that comes from learning hundreds of solos and having to get them to a performable level to post them on social media for potentially millions of people.
Yeah. So college, right? You found a college with a Scottish name, Edinburgh, right? Was that just a coincidence?
No, my grandfather actually found that one. He lived down in Pittsburgh, and he found Edinburgh University because one of his nurses, I think, worked there or had a son who went there, and they had mentioned that the school had a bagpipe program. And I was 16 or so at the time, so I wasn't really ready for applying to schools or anything like that. And I knew I wanted to pursue music, but I was stuck in another fork in the road of, okay, do I go to a music school like Berkeley or Eastman? And I had applied to some schools like this, but I would have to give up bagpiping because when you go to be a music major and you tie yourself to your instrument, that's your instrument. You no longer get to play the game that I was playing of focusing and doing so many things. I had one of my teachers in school tell me that I was going to spread myself too thin if I kept doing what I was doing, which was being involved in all of these different programs and playing a different instrument in every single music group that I was a part of. But I loved that. I loved that versatility. And so I'm glad I listened to nobody. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy when I went to this school so that I could major in bagpipes. It's not your everyday thing, but I became the first woman in the United States to graduate with a degree in bagpiping. And so just the beginning. There's not only one of me now. So
I love that fact.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So in college, it honed those skills of all this transcribing and the music and the knowledge and helped you go deep, or did you have that heading in there?
No, that was a lot of that is stuff that I learned after. So I was classically trained in college. So I did piano, voice, and bagpiping, and I focused heavily on music theory. Okay. And so that is more so kind of breaking down and dissecting. So I did get to work a lot on that kind of skill, which is like breaking things down into their components that make them up. But I learned a lot more about classical composition than I did about rock and roll.
Yeah. Because you are the rock and roll bagpiper. It's amazing, and the social videos are fun. The music videos that you've started to do, they're mini movies. It's a whole different game. It's what goes into making those, and because you have like Crazy Train, the Pirates of the Caribbean one, and these are bigger productions. How long did they take? And did you have to get permission to do those songs once you're turning them into videos like that?
Yeah, so there's a different type of cover licensing. There's so many different types of cover licensing. There's a different type of cover licensing for putting something on a CD than there is for releasing it digitally. And there's a different type of cover licensing for X, Y, and Z. It doesn't apply to social media. So, for example, if I post a song on Instagram, I don't need to acquire cover licensing for it because the algorithm already splits it. So the algorithm itself has cover licensing, and these labels and things like that. Like when I don't have a label, but when I release music, I give the distributor permission to have it available on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So for all the short form things, that doesn't apply. But for anything longer form, yes, it does. But the process of filming a music video is actually really relevant right now because I just got back from Germany where I just filmed my most recent music video that is not released yet. It will be coming out in May. And I also can't tell you the name of the song, but it's another cover. And it's going to be on my next album, which is coming out this year as well. And that's a combination of originals and covers. And the whole album is going to be a lot more hard rock than anything has been prior. But the process, I mean, it's very fresh in my mind, the process of filming a music video.
Yeah.
But I was in studio with the videographer, and I think we were there for about 9 hours, start to finish. And it's just so, and he's a professional. Like, he got it done. That's like the fast side of things. My Crazy Train video was filmed over the course of 2 days. My She's a Pirate video was filmed by a production team in Pennsylvania. So a full team of, I think, 7 people worked on that. And that still took like 6-7 hours just of filming. So it's crazy. You'd think that it's fast because it's, just a couple minutes of a song, but it really does take a long time.
So you get any the Ozzy? Did that come out before he passed? Did you get any feedback from that label and from the family?
I didn't get anything from the family, but I did release that before he passed away. I released Crazy Train, I think, in 2022.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years, and then the video came out in 2023.
Yeah.
So I definitely had that one going for a while. Crazy Train is actually pretty near and dear to my heart. It was one of the first rock songs that I had transcribed for Bagpipes ever, and that was in high school with my rock band. So
I love it.
Yeah, so we did our first year, we did our high school talent show, and we played Lowrider. And then the second year, we wanted to kind of amp it up. So I suggested we do Crazy Train of all things, and we did. And it was just awesome, and it was great.
I love it.
And I took it to social media as soon as I thought the world might be ready for me to do that. And then it became a pretty big part of my live show and also my online persona.
Yeah. So do people come to you, other bagpipers, and say, "Hey, how about that sheet music there for Crazy Train?" You get requests for that? Because it's like, I can't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I get a lot of comments. They're like, "Where did you find the sheet music for this?"
Right here.
And I haven't looked at a piece of bagpiping sheet music in a while. But I have put together a couple versions for like, I'll get a lot of questions from parents, like for their kids who are really looking to do stuff. And so there are a few things that I have done kind of beginner to intermediate difficulty versions of, and written those out for some people. But it takes a really long time to write out sheet music. But I do have plans to release both an original and cover tune book down the road. So those kinds of things will be coming, but I don't prioritize that at the moment. Just it takes a long time to do it right.
So you're a go big or go home kind of gal. Halftime for the Indianapolis Colts. How is that? Because it was like you center field on a platform and like 100 dancers, but you carried the show. That was just like a young woman out there doing that how was that? And you really, how much confidence does that take to get out there and command a stadium?
That day was one of the craziest days of my life. So before the halftime show, the whole band and I actually played an entire 90-minute show for the season ticket holders. So we started the day early. I had to be there at like 7 a.m. to do rehearsal. And so I got up, got kind of ready, did this rehearsal before anybody else got into the stadium, and then went off and started to get ready for the show. But I also played a TV timeout between the third and fourth quarter. So I went over to get ready for the show. I'm putting on my makeup in this, like, we're in a restaurant. I'm like behind something, like trying to get ready. And then somebody comes up on a golf cart and they're like, "Hey, we need to bring you back into the stadium so that you can rehearse with the DJ." Because I played the solo from Sweet Child of Mine during the game. So they're hiking me back across to the stadium. It is freezing outside because it's in Indianapolis, but it's December. And so I'm freezing. My hair is like sticking to me. It was crazy. And I went over, rehearsed that, went back. I also had to have different microphones for when I was inside and outside of the stadium because of frequencies. So my microphone, I use something different now, but at the time I had it taped to the top of my chanter and fed through my bag so that it was completely wireless and I could detach it from myself. So I had to keep doing that with these different microphones through the day. And it's not even 10 a.m. yet. Okay. So I get back over to the restaurant. We get everything together. I did not have time to do my hair. So we do this show. It was a ton of fun. And then immediately go over to the stadium. And then we get to sit in this room with all of our family that we brought along with us, waiting for the halftime show. And the game is on. And so I'm curling my hair, trying to get ready. And I'm literally like this because I can't believe that this is about to happen. And until the rehearsal, I had no idea what a big part of the halftime show I was going to be. I just kind of assumed that I would be a part of it. I didn't think that they were going to literally platform me on a bright LED stage in the middle of the field. So it was starting to hit me a little. And so I'm getting ready. I'm curling my hair. I'm doing all of this stuff. And my now fiance, then boyfriend, came down and said, you need to come sit in the stands for a little bit. Because we had seats. I only used mine for about a minute. And so he's like, you need to come see the stadium. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't have any interest in seeing it right now. And he's like, no, trust me, you're going to want to see it now. And you're not going to want your first time seeing it be when you're walking onto the field. So come on. So we get out there. I'm sitting in my seat. And we were playing fantasy football with about half of the people who were with us at the time. And I had one of the, oh my God, I can't even remember his name right now. I had one of the players on my fantasy football team that week. And so we're sitting in the stands and I'm like actually starting to cry because I'm getting so nervous about going out there because it was huge. It's huge. Yeah. Like, imagine sitting in a giant stadium, but then imagine like how many people that actually is. It was, I couldn't quantify it. That stadium held 65,000 people. That's too many. So I'm like starting to like get really like shaky and nervous. And then I see my player score a touchdown. And I was like, wait, that cured me. And so that helped a lot. So shout out to him. And so I go back down and I finish getting ready. We put some LED strips on my bagpipes and then they take me out. And I'm standing there for the first minute of the halftime show, waiting for my cue. And then everything just went blank. And somehow I ended up where I needed to be. I remember taking the first couple of steps. And then I don't remember much. However, I don't know if you saw recently on the Grammys, there was an artist performing and his in-ear monitors malfunctioned. And so he was having, like, you could see the panic on his face and everybody had a lot of empathy for him, which is great. But I had flashbacks because while I was on the podium, like on the platform during the halftime show, my in-ear monitors cut out for probably about 6 seconds, which in music time is an eternity. So yeah, that was horrifying, but we persevered. We made it through. Yeah. Fortunately, my face wasn't on the screen at that time, or it would have been. Yeah, so it was truly an amazing experience. All of the cheerleaders made me like friendship bracelets. They gave me a custom jersey and a custom football. And so yeah, it was a very, very cool time. But I did just get a comment today. So it's funny that you bring up the halftime show. So it's on the video of me doing the halftime show, and this guy says, "These AI videos are so amusing. One day they will show her inflate and squeeze the bag instead of miming." So my entire, like the biggest moment of my musical career, the craziest day of my life as a bagpiper has just been chalked up to AI.
AI, it's the devil. It's a wonderful tool, but it's the devil too. So you're focusing on music and touring. You're coming to Michigan for the Motor City Irish Fest. Super excited about that. Maybe will that album that you're wrapping up, will that be available and you'll be selling them when you get here over the summer?
Yet. It's going to be out in September, but I will be performing a bunch of songs off of the album at the Irish Fest.
Awesome.
So, and depending on like when they start coming out, some of them might be debuted there. So that's going to be very exciting as well.
Awesome. I mean, I'm again looking forward to being there at the festival. It's always good. It's always a good time. So your music, you have an album coming out. You've had some music featured. Was it The Witcher? You had some stuff. How did that come about?
No. So that I haven't had an association with The Witcher, but on my first album, I covered Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, and it became so popular. It kind of like blew up out of nowhere, and I was not anticipating that. I think it's probably my most popular song on the entire album. That was my first one, which is The Pipes Are Calling, which I released in, I think, 2022.
So I think TV shows like Versailles and Bridgerton, I think they're helping you because it's like, you know, you have these pop songs being covered and done in period things, and they've become so popular. I think that's really bridging the gap for you. What is the plan for? So the album is part covers and part original.
Yep, correct.
And it's going to be metal. It's going to be a little more hard rocking.
It is, yeah. My last album is kind of like, it's just like some of the songs are just classic rock style. And then some of them are a little bit more folky and Celtic. That's The Session, the album that I'm talking about right now, the one that came out last year. And so I feel like it was a nice step toward this. I wanted that album to really pay a lot of respect to my roots and where I came from. So there is a lot more traditional sound that is imbued in that one. And then a lot of the songs are written around certain experiences like the World Championships and things like that. But this one, now that I've done that and I feel like I have honored everything, it's time to go a little crazy.
All right. So if people aren't lucky like me, and you're going to swing through town, and I'm sure you're going to have a backpack full of CDs that you'll be selling, and I'll be able to pick a few up while you're here. What's the best way for people to get your music? Because you're available on Amazon, you're available on Bandcamp. What is the best way? You as an artist, what benefits you the most? Or through your website and buy the CD via the mail? What benefits you as an artist the most?
The best is definitely a purchase of a physical CD, which I know is a huge ask because nobody has a CD player anymore. But that's definitely the best way to support art and physical artists. Aside from that, digital downloads via Bandcamp would be, I think, the second best, but I'm genuinely just appreciative for people listening at all. Even listening for free on platforms like Spotify helps a lot because those streaming numbers, of course, help me, even if not financially, they help me as an artist. So when venues are looking to book me, they see I have this many monthly listeners, and that's kind of just another digital accolade that is important as a touring artist.
Because I mentioned that at the top. It's like, you know, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, collect, all those internet things and all the internet places. As a social media influencer, God, I hate that word. But as a social media person, those things, even just the little hearts and the thumbs ups, are important. They all help. So absolutely. Do that.
Absolutely.
So what do you do? Do you ever get so it sounds like you've pared back the social media aspect of it a little bit. You're only putting about 10 hours in a week, but it's like Celtic. What do you do to escape the like the video fatigue or the Celtic fatigue? What do you do to get a break from that? Your dogs probably, right?
Animal Crossing right now.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, so I have 2 dogs and I have a lizard, and love them dearly. I'm also a big animal person and I don't like killing things. And so right now I also have 2 worms that I'm taking care of because they grew too big for my lizard to eat them. So got couple dependents right now, just waiting for them to hatch, and then they'll live their lives in a little cage that I have.
Oh my goodness.
You
are so sweet.
No, it's ridiculous. We also let the stink bugs live in the basement, and any bug gets to live inside. My lizard is also elderly, and so his vision isn't great. So pretty often, actually, any bugs that we have around the house, I just put into his enclosure because he won't eat them because he can't see them. So we have a very full household.
Nice.
But no, things are crazy busy right now in life in general. I'm planning a wedding right now, which is crazy, and that's really stressful but fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And I also have a ton of plans like for tours and stuff like that, but that's on work. But I feel like I never really fully separate from work. I think having social media be a part of my job it's a weird thing to find balance with, because every time I scroll as a consumer on social media, I'm also working because I'm getting notifications about comments, or I'm getting DMs about collaborations or things like that. And then almost all of my friends are people I work with. So that creates a really difficult dynamic too. So I'll be texting my friend Steve, who plays guitar in the band. And so I'll be texting Steve, and then I'll also be like, oh, by the way, about this gig. And then suddenly we're working. And
Yep.
my fiance is my drummer. And so our life too is very complicated because we're hanging out, we're doing like normal stuff, we're reading books, we love to read. So we're doing that, and then immediately it's like, okay, let's we have a new idea, let's go write a song, or let's talk about this, or how are we going to arrange this. So it's all the time. It's like every waking moment I'm either working 100% or 30%.
Yeah. I figured there was like, it had to be, because it's my life is crazy too. Congratulations on the upcoming wedding. It's I know what goes in, because I've DJ'd weddings and parties for like the last 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, again, same thing. It's like I teach high school, I do the podcast, I do the radio thing, I DJ. It's like one guy, 10 jobs, you know, it's like.
And you're always doing one of them somehow.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's to the point now where I feel like I'm going to start roping in Animal Crossing. I have to somehow monetize it so I can justify the time I'm spending on it.
Love it. All right. So it's piperalley.com, and that takes you to all the places, all the videos, all the music, all the tours, piperalley.com. And then it's piperalley.bandcamp.com for the Bandcamp one. But again, that's all linked under the piperalley.com. I'm super excited about the summer. Is there any place that you're going on the tour this summer? It's the 20th is, I think, is your next gig. Any place you're looking forward to being at, besides the Motor City is your prime one, but besides that?
My top is definitely Motor City. Okay. I actually truly love every single place that I go, because they all offer something different. I think people get really caught up in America. They're like, oh my God, you're going to Germany. Oh my God, you're going to this place. You're playing here. That must have been amazing. And I'm like, I mean, I was in a venue, so it was amazing in its own way, but it's not amazing the way that you think it was amazing, you know? Yeah. Not to say that it's not, but like I rarely get the time when I travel abroad or go places to actually fully travel and immerse. When I was in Germany, I did 2 music videos, and that took me a total, the filming aspect alone was almost 24 complete hours of time at the studio across multiple days. And then there's all of the other stuff that I had to do in terms of content creation. So I had 1.5 days to actually see Germany and Amsterdam.
Oh, that should be enough.
Well, one of the days was Sunday, so everything was closed. But it was still absolutely magical and amazing. But I always get myself really excited to go to new places. And like, I'll be in Edinburgh performing a show in Scotland in May. And of course, I'm excited to go to Scotland. But I also, at this point, I know that when I go there, most of my time is going to be working. And all of the shows are going to be filled with the same energy that I'm bringing to everywhere else. So you're going to get the same experience whether you're in Edinburgh or whether you're in Michigan or whether you're in Massachusetts, because to me, it doesn't really matter as much where I am physically as much as where I am musically. And I'm very excited for this year musically.
What was Edinburgh like? It was a lot like being in a van heading to a gig. It was, yeah.
I feel bad because I went to the West Coast and I had some of my friends and family asking, oh my God, what was this like? I haven't been out to California, or what was this like? And I was like, I don't remember which city was which. They were all lovely, I'm sure, but it's definitely a different experience being somewhere and traveling and being somewhere and working. I try to, as much as possible, I try to give myself a couple extra days in more unique locations that I go to. So I gave myself a couple days when I performed out in Alaska so that I could see Alaska. And I gave myself, like when I go down south to Georgia, I love Savannah, Georgia. So I did a festival in Savannah, and then I booked a week-long, it was 5 days, a vacation on Tybee Island. So when possible, I try to give myself a little 1 to 2 day excursion so I can experience that side of it too, because just going there to perform doesn't give you that kind of experience.
Yeah. Well, all right. So it's alleythepiper.com. And I don't want to take more of I'm Piper Alley. Sorry. Piperalley.com.
I think I own the domain for alleythepiper.com too. So it will route you there.
Good thinking. All right. No,
So,
see, you are internet savvy. So, all right. I have it right in front of me. I said it wrong. All right. piperalley.com. And we'll chop that out along with the dog barks. Give all the puppies a hug. And thank you so much for your time. I know it's a commodity and I appreciate it.
thank you. Yeah, no, I'm happy to do it. I'm excited for Michigan and always excited to kind of talk about the behind the scenes stuff. So.
High on a hill, there's a sweet bird calling. All come together, are you in or are you out? There's a bird on a hill and he's sweetly calling. All come together in the end, no doubt. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. And oh, darling, oh, my darling, be strong and be proud. Oh, darling, then you'll see the devil will go round, 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 over the fields where the water's falling. All come together, are you in or are you out? There's a bird on a hill and he's sweetly calling. All come together in the end, no doubt. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. And oh, darling, oh, my darling, be strong and be proud. Oh, darling, then you'll see the devil will go round, round, round. Over the fields where the water's falling. All come together, are you in or are you out? There's a bird on a hill and he's sweetly calling. All come together in the end, no doubt. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. And oh, darling, oh, my darling, be strong and be proud. Oh, darling, then you'll see the devil will go round, round, round. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. Oh, darling, let's go over now. The devil's here. And oh, darling, oh, my darling, be strong and be proud. Oh, darling, then you'll see the devil will go round. Oh, darling, oh, my darling, be strong and be proud. Oh, darling, then you'll see the devil will go round. And oh, darling, oh, my darling, be strong and be proud. Oh, darling, then you'll